On the inside, Andy Smith, the two Brits. Niklas Klingberg, the Swede, goes from gate 3 on the outside. The Hungarian at 39, the oldest rider in the field tonight. A 387-metre circuit.
There's a little dirt on it, a little bit of water. It's going to be good.
Starting march moves away up by the tapes, and away we go. And a great start by Niklas Klingberg in the white helmet colours, but on the inside and matching in stride for stride is Scott Nichols back in third place. Andy Smith is in the blue helmet colours. Tihany, the Hungarian, right at the back. A flying start by Niklas Klingberg, though, but in pursuit and going well is Scott Nichols.
Yeah, Scott Nichols working that inside really hard. That's the safest place to be at the moment because you just don't know what this track's going to be like early on with all that water on. Andy Smith is just struggling there in third place, but Niklas Klingberg's got this wrapped up.
Niklas Klingberg with Scott Nichols in pursuit. A reminder, of course, the top two go through onto the next stage. The next two, that's the last two in this one, have another go to stay in the event with a lap and a half to go. Niklas Klingberg, lying 19th in the series at the moment this season, is going very, very well in this, the first heat in the afternoon. And look at the sunshine beating down here. In second place is Scott Nichols. Into the final lap they go. In front is Niklas Klingberg. They're tracking each other almost as if they're tied together. Scott Nichols is going to go safely through to the next stage. He's growing in confidence in this Grand Prix, is Scott Nichols. But a great win for Niklas Klingberg in the white helmet colours. Scott Nichols in red in second place. Third is Andy Smith in blue. They will march on. The last man in yellow is Sandor Tihany. But Niklas Klingberg, that man there, and Niklas Klingberg. Greg Hancock, the 97 world champion, goes from gate 2. Greg Valasek, the 25-year-old Pole who races for Pool, goes from gate 3, the white helmet colours. And it's Izak Santesh, the Slovenian, on his Grand Prix challenge. So you know what the tracks are like. 387 metres of him. And away they go for heat number 2 now. On the inside in red, Billy Hamill gets the fly. Greg Hancock in blue is with him. Pushing on the inside is Greg Valasek in white. Right at the back, Izak Santesh, the Slovenian. He's in yellow. But what a flyer from Billy Hamill. Hamill and Hancock tied together, former Coventry teammates, of course, and Billy Hamill gaining the march on his fellow American at the moment. Hamill in front in red, second place in blue is Greg Hancock. A good night for the Americans at the moment.
Yeah, Billy looks pretty comfortable out in front right now. The bike's really driving. As he gets the wheels in line down that straightaway, things starts pulling good. Greg did a smart move in that first corner. He almost went a little bit too wide and left the room for Valasek to come in, but he's tucked back in there behind Billy. As you said, they were side by side, but now they're spreading out. Looks like the track's looking good.
Already the riders finding this a very, very fast track. Sam, of course, the track record holder here, but two Americans here looking pretty good. Into the final lap goes Billy Hamill in the red helmet colours. He's flying and picking his line. Certainly Greg Hancock in second place now with some comfort will move on to the next stage as they look to make it to the main event. There'll be one race from that, but the Americans coming 1 and 2 here. Third place is going to Greg Valasek in the white helmet colours. Back at the rear in yellow, Izak Santesh will have to go again. But the winner, Billy Hamill, will go from the inside gate in heat number 8, and that'll delight him. Greg Hancock, the second place man, will go in gate 3 from heat 7, and just 15 kilometres from the Croatian border. Around 8,000 fans in here. They'd expected perhaps a few more, but perhaps they've decided to stay around the lakes and swimming pools of this beautiful countryside. Heat number 3. We look across the lineup. The man in yellow there is Krsko. Missed out in midweek with our transmission from Coventry, but not here now. Away they go in right. In red, ANDREAS JONSSON on the inside, but look at the speed on the outside coming from Krsko. He's trying, he moves into second place. Back in third is NICKI Pedersen. A real battle between those two, and a flyer out front for ANDREAS JONSSON. He's started just as he wishes, and he's got the track at his mercy.
All these boys, bar Cegelski, were on this track for the challenge, and Andreas was super fast in that challenge, and it looks like he's doing the same thing coming into this race. Cegelski's looking good in second place, but he's got NICKI Pedersen. Now, high almighty NICKI Pedersen going around the outside now, and he's done it.
Yes, a great move by NICKI Pedersen to go round the outside as the dirt moves out. We heard Mark Moran talking about the grip on this track, and certainly that's telling for NICKI Pedersen there, who snatched second place. It means Cegelski will have to go again to stay in the event and finish in the first two next time out. But into the final lap goes ANDREAS JONSSON, that man in red, the Coventry rider, the 2000 World Under-21 champion. Half a lap to go. He's stretching his lead by fully 50 metres, and he's got them all in the palm of his hand, and ANDREAS JONSSON takes that with some comfort. Second place, though, goes to NICKI Pedersen. Third, there is Krzysztof Cegelski in yellow, but a great ride by that man, ANDREAS JONSSON, and the Swede will move on quite smartly. Rene Holter in blue goes from gate 2. three times the Norwegian champion Rudi Holte. Gate 3, KARLSSON, who are the Brit. 4 times he's made a Grand Prix semi-final. On the outside, Matti Furjan, the cheers of the Slovenian.
Heat's going to be the big advantage.
That's Lucas Dribble. We see him looking down, and Tate's going really wide on the outside. Here's Matti Furjan, and Furjan stays wide, but in blue, stealing a march. Rudi Holte and Sam Tokemeyer leading Lucas Dribble. It's Holte out front in blue. Back in third place is KARLSSON. Stoney from Workington will have work to do here, but what a fly by Rudi Holte. Sam outlined his experience on the track and his ability and the sheer speed of the Norwegian, who doesn't ride in the British League. And now the front two, but slowing up, it looks is Lucas Dribble, as if he's got a problem. Back in third place, can KARLSSON squeeze his way through? Holte going well.
I don't think that Ulemek's, or I should say Dribble's having any problems in this thing. I mean, Rudi Holte, I mean, soaking wet, he only weighs 9 stones, and that bike looks like it's hooking up good. He's just pulling away from him.
Well, I don't know what they talk about in kilograms here or how you work that out, but 9 stone and Rudi Holte is looking pretty fast here in this one. Into the final lap he goes. In second place there in red is Lucas Dribble, who's adapting well to the conditions, but Rudi Holte is having an absolute flyer here, and I would suggest the fastest Grand Prix ride he's had yet, even in Norway. Rudi Holte it is. He lifts as he goes across the line. Third place goes to KARLSSON. He will have to go again. Another disappointing ride for Matti Furjan on his home track, but a tremendous ride by this man, Rudi Holte, 3 times in Norway. That's Matti Furjan. Remember, the last 2 go home. The third place man here gets 2 Grand Prix points. The fourth place man gets 1. And that man there, Santosh, finished second to him. But here we go for heat number 5. Remember, the last 2 go home. A real flyer in the man in blue there, Sigelski. But round the outside in yellow, trying to pick it up goes Matti Furjan. In second place is Andy Smith. Smith will have to work hard. He's got Furjan on the outside, but steals a march at him there. And Andy Smith in second place has now gone wide to pick up grip. But look, he's lost ground here with the man in red putting him under some sort of pressure. Andy Smith has got to do the work here. Around the outside in yellow goes Matti Furjan. The Slovenians will cheer this, but Andy Smith will go home very early if it stays like this.
Andy Smith will be real disappointed because he did all the work and he just slipped it up a little bit by pushing Matti out, and he actually went a little bit too wide himself, and Matti took advantage and cut back, but clearly out in front right now is Sigelski.
There's the battle for second place. Krzysztof Sigelski well clear of these two, but it looks as if Matti Furjan is going to march on. Sanchez will go home, but Andy Smith now putting him under pressure into the final lap. Andy Smith has done him on the inside. A tremendous effort from Andy Smith, but he'll have to watch Furjan now picking up grip. But Andy Smith has done what we all wanted to see him do. And Andy Smith, if he hangs on now, will get that second place to take him on to the next stage. A tremendous ride there by Andy Smith. Krzysztof Sigelski won it with some comfort out front, but Matti Furjan and Izok Sanchez can go home. Neither has very far to go, just down the road to Ljubljana.
You see right now Andy Smith goes in, he had to push him up high, but then he made a mistake himself and went a little bit too wide. That opened the door, and Matti cut back, but at the end result was Sigelski first, and Smudger got second.
KARLSSON here, the Brit, goes in gate 2. Remember, the last 2 could go home. Sandor Tihanyi, he's the Hungarian going from gate 3. Nice moustache in that picture. Sebastian Uhl, red helmet colours. Away goes our starting marshal. What he would have done, he's got problems with the outside with Sebastian Ulemek, and he wants him in the right place, and I don't blame him. There's Sebastian Ulemek, the familiar Tony Ricardsson colours. Remember, they're part of the same team in this Grand Prix setup at the moment. Sebastian Ulemek there on the outside. Motors roaring, away goes that starting marshal. A flyer on the inside again for Greg Valasek. Left at the back is KARLSSON, who tries to cut back on the inside. Good move round the outside by Ulemek. A great ride by Ulemek, and what an effort there. Into second place goes Valasek, and KARLSSON, who has an awful lot to do here. KARLSSON, who is effectively out of this one now.
Yeah, you missed that, Tony. He actually just had a problem right in the first corner, and his bike looked like it stalled on him. And it's the poles 1-2 right now. It's Ulemek with Valasek chasing him down. They're going to be comfortable staying in this position because I don't think the third place guy is going to even be close to these guys.
Well, certainly the poles looking good here. It's Sebastian Ulemek in the lead here now, ahead of Greg Valasek. Valasek, the man in the red helmet colours. Ulemek on the outside, who's picked it up, perhaps helped from the his mentor in the pitch, Tony Ricardsson. Tihanyi, the Hungarian, will certainly be out of this, but what a ride here, because Sebastian Ulemek has had it all his own way so far in this one. Picked it up here, and certainly riding with that broken hand, as I outlined a few moments ago, which he suffered in Cardiff. That's Sebastian Ulemek. not feeling pain. He's riding through that pain barrier, as some people would say. And Sebastian Ulemek in the yellow helmet colour wins it ahead of Greg Vanasek in red. And the only other finisher is Tihanyi, the Hungarian, in white, but he can go home. And disappointment for Andy Smith, because basically, for Carl Stonehill in the blue helmet inside, he won heat number 1. Andreas Jonsson, who won heat number 3, goes from gate 2. The runner-up in heat 2 is Greg Hancock. He goes from gate 3, and on the outside, that's Lucas Dribble. Andreas Jonsson in blue, gate 2. Gate 3 in white, Greg Hancock. Lucas Dribble goes from the outside in yellow. A flyer from Andreas Jonsson, who won heat 3 in Flying Start, and he started brilliantly here in this one. Moving through now into second place under some power there is Lucas Dribble. On the outside in white, that's Greg Hancock. Hancock gets the grip and goes by Dribble. There's going to be a battle here in second place behind Jonsson, who's having it all his own way out front. Jonsson is going well. Tailed off at the back in red, Niklas Klingberg. More disappointment for him, will have to go again. But what a ride by these two. They're battling.
Tony, that was the race of the evening so far. They all shuffled up in that first corner. Andreas is just gone, but Greg Hancock done a great job. He gets skipped by Dribble. Dribble was pushing him really wide. Greg cut back, come back in there, and now they settle down. But that was a race that was going on.
This is what Greg Hancock wants, to lift his Grand Prix career this year. Greg Hancock, certainly the white helmet colours there. He is now setting off as they go into the final lap. Andreas Jonsson, for his second race running, is having it very much his own way. Yet again, some 30, 40 metres in front. Greg Hancock in second place there with some comfort, albeit covered with some dirt. And now Lucas Dribble is going to finish in third place there in the yellow helmet colours. He's going to have to go again, as is Niklas Klingberg. They will have to go respectively in heats 11 and 12 to stay.
And when he makes the starts, Holton's going to be going good. It's going to be tough.
There's the confirmation of the lineup. Billy Hamill on the inside, Willie Holter gate 2, Scott Nichols gate 3, Nicky Pedersen on the outside in yellow. But generally speaking, the man on the inside, Hamill, in the red helmet colours. Perhaps he will make the gate, and then who knows.
What's Nicky Pedersen going to be doing from that outside? This could get dangerous in that first corner. Let's watch.
Yes, well, can he come across? Hamill's held it. The man in blue's going with him, Willie Holter. But coming through the inside in white is Scott Nichols. A good ride by Scott Nichols again, because he's barred the way to the man behind him, Holter. Holter now finding grip. Nichols goes wide. Good riding there, good track craft, but still Holter will come again. But out front, Hamill has stolen a march, and the battle again is in second place between these two. In blue, Holter. In white, Nichols.
Boy, I tell you what, the track's getting that little bit of berm in it, and these guys are just bopping all over the corners now, trying to get the back end down. Billy did it in the first corner. Billy's out in front. Now the race is on. Holter and Nichols are going for it.
Time and time again, these two. The race is in second place. Look at Scott Nichols on the outside. He gets grip. Holter getting back on his rear wheel, trying to pick up speed. And Nichols is down and locks up. He's not out of the Grand Prix because it's not eliminator. He can go again, but Holter again impressive. The man out front is Hamill going well in red. A tremendous ride by the American Billy Hamill. And as they come round the top end in blue in second place, Rudy Holter has done exactly what he wants. And at the moment, well, what an effort by those front two. And well, only two finishing, really, as far as we're concerned. But coming home just about in yellow there is Nicky Pedersen after Scott Nichols fell. And Pedersen, well, not exactly what he wanted to.
For that second place, just look at Ruda grabbing traction right there, lifted. He knows, he looks over and he sees Scotty. Scotty's rolling the tear-off now, saying, okay, I can focus now on what's going on here. I got to make something out of this thing. He's up in the high line as Ruda just gives him a little bit of a push right there going in the corner. It's really loose up there, and Scotty just caught it right there and just went down. What a shame.
Well, that was the end of Scott Nichols in that one. He will have another go. But we know once again we're in a tremendous Grand Prix. We've had 8 of the heats. There's plenty more to come. Heat 9 is next on our agenda. That will be with you straight after the break. The winner of the British Grand Prix in Cardiff. He goes from the inside. Lee Adams, 6 times an Australian champion, gate 2. Tony Ricardson, 4 times a world champion from gate 3. And on the outside in yellow and black, Mark Levin won sometime. He's had an awful lot so far without so doing. Never the bridesmaid, perhaps never the bride. In red on the inside, Ryan Sullivan, speed again. Tony Ricardson's back in third place in blue. That's Lee Adams. Ricardson's got work to do here. Not perhaps what he wants. In yellow at the back, it's Mark Aram. Disappointment for him. perhaps using this race as a test of the track, because it's not an eliminator. They're racing simply for gate positions, but this man, Ron Sullivan, will have this victory to give him confidence.
Ryan is so fast at the moment. I've raced against him a couple of times when I've been doing different things in Sweden and in England, and he is super fast. Surprises me how Lee Adams went a little bit wide going into turn 3 there just to test that outside of the track to leave the door open for Tony Rickardson, but it's paid off. He's following Ryan step by step.
Not often we see Tony Rickardson back in 3rd place, but this man, Ron Sullivan, who caught him on the points aggregate in Cardiff, is certainly looking very good as he goes into the final lap. Ron Sullivan ahead of in 2nd place there. The man in blues, Lee Adams, Australia, 1 and 2. Tony Rickardson, the Swede, is back in 3rd place. There we see Tony Rickardson. I'll have a little bet he won't be that far back in future races, but that sorts out the sheep from the goats. Rickardson in 3rd place, bringing up the rear. Disappointment for Mark Duram in yellow. It means an inside gate for the first 2 in heat 13. That will go to Ron Sullivan.
Oh, darn.
Well, no, maybe not. We're waiting for him.
No.
Yes, he has. Yes, Todd Wiltshire has been excluded. Now, that effectively gives him 4th place in this one, which means he will go from gate 2 in heat 13. But Wiltshire is excluded, and that's because of his efforts to try and change machines twice.
Yeah, ruthless system, you know, but everybody's got to abide by the rules, and Todd took a little bit too much time there to try to take advantage of getting the right bike. Maybe he's made the right choice now. We'll see what happens when he comes to his next.
From Michael KARLSSON, round the outside and picking up grip for those 2 in white. That's Jason Crump, of course. A fly for him. Thomas Golov content to sit there now and just test out the track. But Michael KARLSSON and that man in white, Jason Crump. But Crump goes to the front now, not worried perhaps by his wrist that troubled him somewhat in Cardiff. And Jason Crump has settled now, and he's going to take some catching.
I was very impressed with Michael's first corner. He just stuck right on that inside line thinking, you guys got to go around me. But when they came to turn 3, here's the race now. He just passed him back right up that inside. Great move.
Yes, follow the leader. It's not here. Now Crump's having a go. KARLSSON and Crump are battling. More to test out the track, to test out their machines, and to know how the land lies in future races. But with just over a lap to go, we've seen exactly what we want, and problems for Golov.
Way in the back, the race is on in front. Michael and Jason both know how to ride the high line, and this track is producing some dirt up there, and they're taking advantage of switching all around the racetrack. And what? It's going to be a great event. It's going to be great.
Well, later on when we get the big guns, but look at this. He just gets it in blue there. Michael KARLSSON ahead of Jason Crump in white. Thomas Golov is way back.
The inside, Crumpy now is up high. He's going to turn back right now and try just grabbing that little bit of traction up there, which is pushing him forward. Turns back. This is going to be so good. If this is what's going to happen later on, hold on to your seats at home, because this is going to be some terrific racing. This track is going to produce what's going to be unbelievable. Look at how they're just moving around.
Scott Nichols, gate 2. Krzysztof Cegielski and Greg Vanasek, the 2 poles, go from gates 3 and 4. Remember, the last 2 go home. But the poles on this track were impressive last time out. Do it here in heat 11. Settling down at the tape supply on the inside from Lucas Drimmel. The man in white is Krzysztof Cegielski, and Cegielski picks up drive there. Drimmel goes away again. Back in 3rd place is Vanasek. 1, 2, 3. Scott Nichols is out of this one. Scott Nichols has gone, I'm afraid.
Where's Scotty? He's in the back. Cegielski's now up the inside of Drimmel. Drimmel made that all-important fast start. Now he's just got to work him down, see what he can do with it. This race is still going.
Scott Nichols, I'm afraid, will be going home, because the front 2 in red, Lucas Drimmel, the Oxford rider, is going very well indeed. Krzysztof Cegielski settling into 2nd place, but Scott Nichols, now with 2 laps to go, has suddenly set about his business. He's moved into 3rd place. Can Scott Nichols put the throttle down and go past Krzysztof Cegielski? This is where we've got to watch the action, Sam. A lap and a quarter to go.
If this happens, it's going to be the biggest race of the night. With he gets pulling in, but it looks like Cegielski's got it under control. Unless something happens, this track can produce it.
Yes, Scott Nichols is putting everything on this final bend. Krzysztof Cegielski is there. Lucas Drimmel out front in the red helmet colours, but off the bend. Can Scott Nichols do it? No, he can't, I'm afraid. Krzysztof Cegielski gets it in white. Scott Nichols in blue gets 3rd place, which means he disappears home with 4 Grand Prix points. Disappointment for pool rider Greg Vanasek in the yellow helmet colours with just 3 points. And disappointment all round. That is from gate 2. Sebastian Ulemek from gate 3. And our man Andy Smith is on the outside. Remember, the last 2 go home. The first 2 go on to the main. So I don't know if you'll have a punch-up after this, perhaps not. Okay. Oh, nearly hitting the tapes there in yellow was Andy Smith, but he's got away. He's got grip on the outside. Andy Andy Smith will go full throttle like a knife through butter. Andy Smith producing exactly what we wanted to see to go into second place behind the man in red, NICKI Pedersen out front. The challenge is on from Niklas Klingberg, but Smith is riding out of his skin here in second place. Klingberg mounting the challenge. Out front in red is Pedersen. Down goes Andy Smith. He tried too hard, and tragedy for Andy Smith. The race being stopped by our referee, and Andy Smith, well, it wasn't for want of trying, and I'm sure we'll see that again, but I'm sure that Andy Smith there just ran out of space there, and really, Sam, how unfortunate for Andy Smith.
Well, from my eyes, from what I've seen sitting here looking at this thing, the track really bit Klingberg, and as he was coming underneath Andy, he just grabbed traction and hit Andy's front wheel, and Andy had nowhere to go. Andy was the innocent party here, is from my first view of this thing.
Well, we'll have to wait and see what the official news is on the exclusion, because somebody will have to go and somebody will be responsible, and it is an eliminating heat. And Andy Smith's bike's not in good shape. Even if he's going to continue, he would have to do so on another machine, Sam.
Yeah, lucky that air fence is there to save these riders, because, I mean, I came off in this in the challenge, and that air fence wasn't there, and I suffered a back injury, but it's good that it's there, because that's a pretty hard fence.
He's fit.
Yep, let's see. Niklas Klingberg's in the blue helmet color. That's NICKI that we're seeing right there out in front. Just getting a bit, I mean, this track is the way it is. It's firming up, and these guys are starting to grab things. We really can't see what's going on in that shot there, but hopefully we'll get another view of it. But Niklas, you can see, is just showing his back wheel right there, and that was the effect, was Andy Smith going down. Lucky for Andy, the referee's seen it the same way that we've seen it here in this.
Well, I have to say that
the quality to be in this championship. It's taken him a long time to mix it with these boys. You can just see right there. Watch. See, yep. Klingberg just moves a little bit. That's it. Klingberg's the one that ran into him.
How tough was that decision for the referee there, Sam?
Oh, super tough. I mean, Klingberg seen a hole. He went for it. The way this track is, guys are making mistakes. Andy made a mistake in the top corner.
Andy Smith on the inside, the Dane, NICKI Pedersen. Sebastian Ulebeck, the pole goes from gate 3. On the outside, Andy Smith. Remember, already Klingberg's out. One more eliminated from this one, but the top 2 go to the main event. Can Andy Smith be one of them?
Like I said, I was already talking about, forget the bump. It's a racer. He's got to get out there and do the same thing. He's got not so many people up the inside of him. He's got to do something here. Whether the hole opens up, we'll see.
Here we go. The referee got his finger on the button. Away goes that starting margin, and away they go. Andy Smith round the outside, cutting back as he did before, and reading the smart move there. And now work to do outside him for the man in white, Sebastian Ulebeck. Another courageous ride by Smith. Out front, NICKI Pedersen has stretched that lead. Ulebeck has work to do. Andy Smith has moved into second place and looking confident.
Andy Smith did the right thing, but I can't believe Ulebeck fell for it for the second time. Andy Smith now is just following NICKI Pedersen through. Hopefully he doesn't have any problem with the racetrack, because it is a little bit grabby out there.
Andy Smith going well in second place. Out front, NICKI Pedersen set from place in heat 15. Andy Smith, if he keeps going like this, will gain the outside gate in heat 13. I wonder if he'll try the same manoeuvre then. But Andy Smith is going to march on to the main event. And what an achievement by the Brit. Keep going, Andy. Out front, NICKI Pedersen. Into the final lap they go. Andy Smith is still holding second place. He's choosing his own part of the track. He's riding now with newfound confidence despite that big bump first time out. And he's going to finish second behind this man, NICKI Pedersen in red. And Andy Smith, the cheers of the Brits are with you, Andy. And well done indeed, the man in white, Sebastian Ulebeck. Surprisingly, he can go home. We thought he looked impressive, Sebastian Ulebeck, but now he's going to have to make do with just 4 Grand Prix points. NICKI Pedersen, the Dane, will march on. He's not had the best of luck in Grand Prix so far this year. Newfound for him, but Andy Smith is my hero from heat number 12 circuit.
I just think Andy Smith's just determined, as we heard from Chris. He's got a heck of a lot of experience. He knows right now that he isn't going to have a chance to be in the challenge. There's none. He's just in it, and he's got some tough guys he's up against right now.
It's the Swede, ANDREAS JONSSON. Here's Andy Smith, nearest to us. Away they go. Andy Smith exactly where he was before. Big talent inside. Smith will try to cut back. This time he's stymied somewhat, but moves into third place in red out front. That is Ryan Sullivan. Remember, this is not an elimination heat. The first 2, though, are one race for the semi-finals. And Andy Smith now goes at the back, but out front in red, the fast Ryan Sullivan. Todd Wiltshire in second place, being put under pressure now, and through goes Andreas Johnson, through goes Andy Smith, and the race is on.
Like I said, the track is a bit tricky out there. It's not really settled down now. They're all grabbing unnecessary traction, pulling them off wide. Ryan Sullivan's out in front looking fast. That thing is going good. Andreas is such a talented rider. He just used his body English and passed old Todd for second place, and Todd went now back to fourth.
Well, I would never have imagined anybody could be so far in front of Andreas Johnson with the speed he's showing. But Ryan Sullivan, the man who races for Peterborough in the British Elite League, he comes from Adelaide. He was born in Melbourne. He's looking very, very fast indeed. And Ryan Sullivan here, could he be on his way to a second successive Grand Prix victory? Ryan Sullivan wins it in red and white in second place. That's Andreas Johnson, and well, those two will march on there. Now one race from the semi-finals, and Todd Wiltshire and Andy Smith will have another race, but Ryan Sullivan wins heat 13 with some comfort and move.
As I ride with both of them, Jason Krupp has made some changes and geared his bike up a little bit. Let's see if it works out for us. And yeah, we can see that, like I said, Tony's got a clean bike there.
Yes, on the outside in yellow, that's Krzysztof Cegielski. Oh, and through the tapes, surely the referee will call that back because a real flyer for Tony Ricardson, and he stole a march there, and I'm very surprised. I think the referee has stopped it. The race is stopped now. I'm not sure if there'll be an exclusion here for Tony Ricardson, but he certainly jumped the gate, and I just wonder what our Polish referee will say about this. I dare say we'll get a chance to see it again, but for my money, it was Tony Ricardson flying through the tapes there, and I don't know if he touched them, Sam, but not the start they wanted to see for fairness.
Not from my eyes. He never touched him. He just anticipated him.
Gate 2, Billy Hamill, former world champion, of course. Gate 3, Krzysztof Cegielski. The flying pole goes from the outside. This time I'm sure there'll be no anticipation. I'm equally sure I think the referee might let the tapes go up fairly quickly. Yes, he does. Away they go. Line abreast on the inside in red. That's Jason Krupp. And Krupp has done it, but pushing him to all lengths here on the outside in yellow, Krzysztof Cegielski. Tony Ricardson very annoyed there that Cegielski blocked his way. In white at the back is Billy Hamill, but a flying start from Jason Krupp, and the gearing paying off.
Yeah, Kruppy means business. His bike looks like it's set up pretty good, and I think he's so strong right now. This track isn't going to affect him. Cegielski's a surprise package right there. Just kind of went around the outside of Tony. Tony's working it high now. Can he take advantage of cutting back on the inside now? Cegielski looks over his shoulder and moves wide. What do you think, Tone?
Well, I think Cegielski knows exactly where Ricardson is, but whether he's got the capability to hold off the challenge of the 4-time world champion, you can see him looking to see where Ricardson is. Rickardson's 2 is picking up grip, and a brilliant ride round the outside by Ricardson, but Cegielski bolts him again as they go into the final lap. Some real track craft here, and it's not often Tony Rickardson's outwitted there, but here he goes again. Now he will try and shut the gate on Cegielski, and Tony Ricardson has shown the mark of a champion there, but now he's drifting wide, and Cegielski comes through, and Tony Ricardson doesn't like that because he thinks that he went, in fact, onto the grass there, perhaps.
No. Tony had a problem there. His bike let him down going into that last corner, and he felt to go in the corner, and he just threw his arm up to kind of let everybody know behind him that he's having a problem. The race right now where Tony just really class act, working hard. Cegielski's really worried. He's looking over his left, right shoulder. Where are you, Tony? Tony goes in high right now. This is where, let's keep our eyes on that chain. Let's see if there's anything silly like that. We couldn't see it there, but he's definitely had a problem in his bike right there. Just stop. That's it. Something's gone wrong. He's lost his power. Cegielski's up the inside, fair and square, and Tony's just saying, what the heck has happened this time?
Well, it's not often we see problems for Tony Ricardson, but there, well, he certainly saw them, and it's a good job from his point of view. It came very, very late in the race. Gate 3, Greg Hancock from the USA in the white helmet colours. Same helmet colours as fellow American Billy Hamill wore in the last heat. Nicky Pedersen goes to the outside. Once again, going very wide on the outside, Nicky Pedersen, away they go. Adams keeps it down well on the inside. The man in blue in second place is Thomas Gollop. He will get grip. Adams goes wide. Coming through on the inside in yellow is Nicky Pedersen. Round the outside in white goes Greg Hancock. The race is on. Hancock is chasing. Gollop is chasing his man too. Gollop is out front now, pursued by Lee Adams. And the pole has done what the Polish fans here are cheering, because Thomas Gollop at his best perhaps this time.
Yeah, he's just working the racetrack. This is a Gollop track. It's big, it's wide, there's plenty of dirt on it. He's fast, he's got it all worked up. He isn't going to let what happened to him at the Millennium Stadium hold him back. He's out front now going for it.
Race for the minor placings at the back. Remember, this isn't an eliminator, but the first two are just one race from the semi-finals, and one of them undoubtedly is going to be this man who has time to look back in the blue helmet colours, Thomas Koloff. Back in second place is Lee Adams. He should safely go through. A gap has opened up to the third man, but Thomas Koloff is there. Third man is Greg Hancock, who will go again for a place in those semi-finals. But Thomas Koloff, a superb race for the pole, who wins it in blue. In second place in red, there is Lee Adams, and in white, Greg Hancock. Nicky Pedersen disappointed at the back, but a tremendous ride by this man, Thomas Koloff, in 17, alongside Andy Smith. As we move now on to heat 16, there's the lineup and tapes on the inside in red. That's Michael KARLSSON. 4 times out of the last 5, he's made it to the final. Mark Laram goes in the blue helmet colours, disappointing when he came 4th in heat 9 last time out. May have learned from that. Bruni Holter, who Sam remarked upon, very fast on this track, the Norwegian. The starting marshal will move away when he's got one satisfying him. He's not happy here. He's waiting for Holter to get up to tapes. The clutches will burn out in this heat if they don't get away soon. The referee holds the tapes and away they go. And on the inside is Michael KARLSSON. Martin Ram is with him. Taken on the inside and outside is Martin Ram, but he comes back well and holds off the challenge from Drimmel. Drimmel is battling there with Bruni Holter in white, and now Martin Ram is out in pursuit of the leader, Michael KARLSSON, and he in turn is under pressure, and this promises quite a race, but Michael KARLSSON looking fast.
I don't see any excuse for both Michael KARLSSON and Mark Laram. This track is tailor-made for their styles. They know how to use the dirt. They go in high. They just got to cover both this guy right here, Drimmel and Holter, but they're too far back. But Drimmel's just coming up the inside past Mark. Now, what Mark's after that now? He's going to come back up the inside.
The bite of bit, as they say there, but ding dong it goes. It's Drimmel, it's Laram, it's Laram, it's Drimmel. Look at them going here. One and then the other in front. In pursuit of Michael KARLSSON out front. But Mark Laram, we know his capability to overtake under almost any track conditions. And despite being put under pressure by Lucas Drimmel, Mark appears to be holding him off here. Down the back straight, 2 bends to go. Mark Laram will hold off Drimmel. Mark Laram will be one race from the semi-final if it stays like this. And he's got it into second place behind Michael KARLSSON. Lucas Drimmel is in third place in the yellow helmet colours. Disappointment at the back for Bruni Holter, who until then had looked pretty fast. But Michael KARLSSON may be the heat winner.
Typically for Mark, he gets a position right now, and he goes in the corner a little bit hot, swings out a little bit wide, but this is the point where he decided that he's going to stay down low to make sure that he doesn't give the opportunity for Drimmel to come through. This is a race for the minor places. Drimmel and Holter in the first lap. Now they were going for it, but they were pretty much, Holter wasn't even on, just getting clamped out there, wasn't even on the same pace as Drimmel. But here's another move of Drimmel coming up the inside of Mark. Look how far Mark's gone out there and realized he's left the door open. Now he's got to cut back up the inside, get his wheels in line. See Drimble's drifting wide up to that high line. This is Mark's chance to get him back.
And the inside of this one, Greg Hancock in blue goes from gate 2. Billy Hamill from gate 3. On the outside, the flying Norwegian Bruni Holter. Remember, the first 2 march just inside him. Greg Hancock inside him, Andy Smith right on the inside. Again, our starting marshal none too happy, and he's trying to get the man in white, Billy Hamill, up to tapes. Again, the clutches could burn here. Hamill was moving, Hancock was as well, but they snatched the front 2 places. And suggestion perhaps of American team riding, but Billy Hamill doesn't look to have the same speed as Greg Hancock out front. And now there is Andy Smith in red, being passed by the man in yellow, Bruni Holter. Smith has work to do. America 1 and 2. Smith moves into third.
Yeah, they've got the perfect package right now, just holding on to first and second, as you mentioned, Tony. And the boys in the back aren't really making any progress here. Smudge is trying up the inside here, trying to get us on Abbott. I think there's a little bit too much water on the racetrack to get anything going. I think Billy's feeling the effect of that, but Greg Hancock out in front is really going quick.
Just over a lap and a half to go. Greg Hancock is flying, a world champion, of course, from the past. So too is the man in second place, Billy Hamill. 2 Americans, both of whom have won that world title. Would love to win one again. With a lap to go, but Andy Smith now is putting Billy Hamill under pressure as they go into the final lap here. A little bit of pressure for Hamill, and Andy Smith there is the man in the red helmet colours. Out front, certainly Greg Hancock has the checkered flag for the taking, and I think Smith's left it too late. And in second place there, it will go to the man in white, Billy Hamill. And Andy Smith, well, he disappears there in the end in third place. I have to say, the elimination heat is certainly unusual. Remember, the last 2 go home. Rickardsson goes to the inside. Lucas Drimmel, gate 2. Todd Wiltshire, the Australian, from Sydney, gate 3. Nicky Pedersen, at 18. 25 in all, away they go. Ricardson on the inside in red, not without a challenge there, as they'll try and cut back through the inside. But now with Tony Ricardson, away he goes. And Tony Ricardson normally will never be caught from this position. The man in blue in second place, as Sam suggested. The fast Lucas Trimmel back in third. Todd Wiltshire, disappointing for him. At the rear in yellow, NICKI PEDERSEN. And Tony Ricardson now will take them all by storm down that back straight and extend his lead.
He's looking really fast, comfortable in front right now, staying clean. Dribble did a great first corner to cut back on the inside and put the pressure on Tony. And it seems to level off now. They're going to stay in this position unless there's going to be any problems with bikes. NICKI's trailing in last place. Todd can't make any ground on this guy right here, Dribble. But Rickardson's way out front.
Well, a fine performance, I think, by Lucas Trimmel tonight, but Tony Ricardson seldom overshadowed. 4 times a world champion, picking the portion of the track on which he wants to ride, never looking like making a mistake as he goes down that back straight for the final time. And Tony Ricardson, in the red helmet colour, picks it up wide, no mistake this time, and he will take the checkered flag. In second place in blue. Well, a good ride by Lucas Trimmel to see him through to a one race from the semi-final. And Tony Ricardson is the winner, and disappointment of the eliminator this one. The first 2 go direct to the semis. The others are not without hope because they have another go, even if they finish 3rd and 4th. Ron Sullivan in red, Thomas Golov in blue, Krzysztof Cegielski goes in white, Mark Loram from the outside in yellow and black. The Grand Prix since June at 99, and though he's won a world title, away they go. Wide on the outside, now cuts back by 1, by 2, into second place, in pursuit of the man in red, Ron Sullivan. Thomas Golov in blue is battling with Loram. Loram now forced wide by Golov, who picks up the inside line. More grip perhaps for Loram, but Thomas Golov comes wide, and Mark Loram steering clear of Golov at this point. Golov now putting Sullivan under pressure. Sullivan in red looks back to see Golov in close attendance, and Mark Loram will have to battle here. But as you predicted, Sam, Ron Sullivan is not catchable, surely.
Now he's looking pretty much comfortable out in front right there. He knows the pressure's on. He's using that outside line, trying to get the most out of his bike to get a big gap between him and Thomas Golov. And Mark's trying to hunt down Golov. He had his best chance when he cut back in that first corner, but it hasn't helped him. He's now in 3rd place, but this guy's shining out front.
Mark didn't seem to have the speed to hold off Golov there, and now as they go into the final lap, Ron Sullivan is going to march in to the semi-finals. It means he'll be in the top 8 on a seeded rider for Sweden, regardless of this now, by a semi-final place. Mark Loram is not done, but in blue in second place now, it's Thomas Golov. Mark Loram looks down at his motor, lacking power perhaps, as he finishes in 3rd place, just ahead of Krzysztof Cegielski. But Ron Sullivan and Thomas Golov are through to the semi-finals, and a top 8 place in Sweden, which means they don't start good. Game 3 is Andreas Jonsson on the outside. That's Lee Adams. So this is heat number 20.
True fans right now, Tony, will be looking at this race saying any one of these guys can win this heat right now. You got Mr. Consistent on the outside right here, Lee Adams. If he can...
The top 8, seeded in Sweden, away they go. It's Crump on the inside in red. Michael KARLSSON in blue. Coming through the inside in yellow to challenge. That's Lee Adams. Round the outside in white goes Andreas Jonsson. He's by everybody. What a flyer from Andreas Jonsson. Crump now relegated into second place. Surely annoyed by that. Coming through the inside in blue. That's Michael KARLSSON to take Crump back to 3rd place. What is going on?
Wow. Boy, oh, Jason Crump made the start, but then he looked over his shoulder, and there was Andreas. He moved up, and Michael KARLSSON squeezed in and took advantage. Michael's now put his back wheel up in that dirt to get maximum right off the corner, left the hole for Jason Crump to come through. It's a race, and it's going on.
Well, it's all 3 in front because Crump's now out in pursuit of the man in white, Andreas Jonsson. In blue, Michael KARLSSON from leader has gone all the way back to 3rd place. Whoa, what a race this is. Andreas Jonsson, though, we know the capabilities of this former world under-21 champion, and now Michael KARLSSON will be seeded through to the top 8 in Sweden, and is through to the Michael KARLSSON. Andreas Jonsson in his home country will be through. Jonsson looks back to Crump in second place. Back in 3rd place is Michael KARLSSON, who will then have work to do, but Andreas Jonsson shaking his fist. Jason Crump knows he's through to the semis. Disappointment once again for Lee Adams, who has work to do, but Andreas Jonsson...
Watch both sides of it. He looks over his right. He sees Andreas coming. Andreas just got his wheels in line, and just look at how fast he's gone by Jason. And Jason's got some pretty quick motors. We mentioned earlier in the studio, I think it was Gary Havelock, not sure if this guy's matured enough to actually handle it, But look at his bike driving down that straightaway. He's out in front of Crumpy here. He actually caught a bump going in and lost his right foot at one time, and that was the last corner. He looked over his shoulder, and he says, oh, right there was the bump. He lost his footing. He's thinking, oh no, if I messed up. He moved up really wide. He was really worried about Jason coming up the inside, but he had such a lead that it didn't really affect the result, and he comes through shining and wins, looking good.
Well, the next two heats are eliminators. Following that, we have two semi-finals, and then the Grand Prix. Gate 2, Lee Adams from Australia. Greg Hancock from the USA goes from Gate 3. On the outside, Lucas Drimmel. Drimmel went into this meeting in joint 17th place in the Grand Prix. He's made it through to Heat 20. Drimmel looks down at the magnets on the inside. Mark the Ram, slow to start. And the man in blue, though, pretty quickly, Adams. Adams picks it up. The Ram in second place. Drimmel putting him under pressure on the inside. A typical race here for Mark the Ram. Right at the back is Greg Hancock, but he's now making ground round the outside. The Ram moves into second place. He could be on his way to the semi-finals. Lee Adams in blue on his way to the semi-finals. Work to do for Greg Hancock. Work to do for Lucas Drimmel, but it's not over yet.
Mark the Ram's riding out of character here. He's staying on the inside, giving the whole outside up, and normally he's the one out there. And both Drimmel and Hancock are taking up the minor places right now, trying not to give an advantage to the boys out front. But Lee looks fast, but he's got this guy on his tail.
Mark the Ram looking fast as well. An interesting line there, coming into the corner tight, coming out of it wide. Lee Adams is the man in blue. Mark the Ram's the man in red. With a lap to go, these two look set for a semi-final place. Greg Hancock will go out. Lucas Drimmel will go out. Down the back straight they go. They don't really mind which order. Mark the Ram's looking back, making sure he's got something in hand. He certainly has. But Mark the Ram in the end, he'll win this ahead of Lee Adams. A great ride by Mark the Ram to win it ahead of Lee Adams. And could we see Mark the Ram win his first Grand Prix for 3 years? Because that was a tremendous ride by Mark the Ram. Safely through to the semi.
Can't really take advantage of a first or a second to give you a good gate position, because they now draw for those semi-finals. So I don't think there's any tactics here. I think Mark just wore down Lee Adams and passed him fair and square up the inside.
This will be the man who will oppose this man, the winner of Heat 22. And certainly, well, the cream is coming to the top. Michael KARLSSON on the inside in this one. Gate 2 in blue, there's Krzysztof Cegielski. William KARLSSON there. Gate 3, Tony Rickardsson in the...
With Cegielski, what's he going to do? I don't know.
Remember, first two to the semi-finals, last two eliminated. Line abreast, the man in red goes well, Michael KARLSSON. Tony Rickardsson is back and bucking and rearing in third place and has work to do. And if it stays like this, Rickardsson will miss out on a place here in the top 8. And it will mean, oh, he goes through now. He's going to make sure of that. But he's still going to get a challenge with Krzysztof Cegielski. But in red, Michael KARLSSON in front, once again looking fast.
Boy, oh boy, you couldn't have read it any different than that, but Michael KARLSSON's looking really strong out front, just stamped his authority with Cegielski, moved him out, left the hole open, and Rickardsson just plugged in there. But now the race is on. Cegielski's putting the pressure on Tony Rickardsson.
No doubt about the man out front, Michael KARLSSON, but could we see drama here? Because Tony Rickardsson is being put under pressure here by Krzysztof Cegielski. A real race in second place. It's a vital place with just over a lap to go. The man who finishes in front here will be in the semis. The man who finishes third will go out, but Michael KARLSSON is certainly safe and sure, and Michael KARLSSON will win through to the semis without a doubt. And now it looks as if Tony Rickardsson will do so as well. In this heat, it's going to be Sweden 1 and 2, and both will be through, of course, to the main event in Sweden, and that's exactly what they wanted. The two Swedes, Michael KARLSSON and Tony Rickardsson, go through, and Krzysztof Cegielski and the American Billy Hamilton.
Oh, Billy's hung up on the outside, not going anywhere. He's got these two guys in front of him, and one of them is this guy, Michael KARLSSON, just dominated going into turn 3 and made sure he shut the door on Cegielski. He's just out in front right now and enjoying his ride. And how important was that race for him? He's into the semifinals, and he wants to be into that main.
It's not won a Grand Prix since June '99 in Sweden. Tony Rickardsson, 4 times a world champion, of course, joint leader of the Grand Prix series, and along with Ron Sullivan, he jointly leads this one. What a semi this is, Sam Ablenko.
Well,
big gap there, of course, going wide. Tony Rickardsson. Mark the Ram is inside, and Martin Ram is excluded, surely. Touching the tape for the man in the inside, Jason Crump went, and well, I wonder what our referee's decision will be. He's excluding Jason Crump.
Yep, that's what I saw, Tony. I'm sorry, but Mark did move, but he didn't touch the tape. Crumpy went on his own.
Jason Crump is the man excluded, and what a shock. He's made 7 of the last 8 finals, and that enhances Mark's opportunity. But Jason Crump, we can see it again.
Definitely, Mark moves, but did touch. Crumpy went on his own. He was on the inside looking left. He didn't have anybody to push him forward by jumping a little bit to get him to move. He did it all on his own. The referee seen it, called it. This is proof right here. What a shame.
Well, it's a brilliant referee decision, I have to say. Very difficult to spot. The 2 on the inside went, but Crump was the man that bust the tapes. Crump is eliminated, and that will really hit Jason's Crump. Martin Ram and Tony Rickardson. Perhaps the sheer talent in this semi-final has put all 4 on it. Right there, Martin Ram. Away they go. Mark in second place. A flying start from Ron Sullivan again. Ron Sullivan is in the lead. Martin Ram's in second place, and Tony Rickardson is in danger of not qualifying for the final. Martin Ram will have to hold off Tony Rickardson. Rickardson has the class. Ram has the inspiration. Can he do it, Sam?
I think he's learned his lesson. He can't get up that inside line whatsoever. Tony went straight for the dirt, tried to get his wheels aligned to get maximum speed down that straightaway to catch up to Mark, but it hasn't paid off yet. Ryan's looking very comfortable out in front, but we got Mark Ram just securing that second place on that inside line, Tony.
Well, a great ride again by the man out front. That's Ron Sullivan. If he makes the final, he'll be certain of going into the next round in front, regardless of what happens in that final. With a lap and a quarter to go, Martin Ram is set for a place in the final. Martin Ram's got time to look back. Tony Rickardson has been eclipsed if nothing goes wrong down that back straight. Well, a shock here for the elimination of Tony Rickardson, who doesn't like the way of drawing for the semi-finals by lots. But the man in blue, Ron Sullivan, wins it. Martin Ram holds on in second place, and Tony Rickardson tumbles out in yellow. Shocks prevailed. Rickardson had to give best to 2 great riders. That man in blue, Ron Sullivan, the winner in Cardiff, and our own Martin Ram are through to the final. The checkered flag, Thomas Golob, already a Grand Prix winner this year in Poland. He goes from the 3rd gate, and on the outside, Michael KARLSSON, who's reached the final in 4 of the last. He would have chosen. Away goes our starting module. Nobody breaks the tapes this time, but a flyer for ANDREAS JONSSON. And tonight, when he's been in front, he hasn't been headed. ANDREAS JONSSON, out front he goes, pursued by the man in red, Lee Adams. In white, Thomas Golob threatens danger, goes round the outside. Golob could pick up second place and threaten the leader. Adams cuts back under him. Now the battle is joined in second place. JONSSON, if he doesn't make a mistake, is through to the final. Who goes with him?
Sweet move by Thomas Golob to take advantage of Lee Adams holding that inside line. Andreas made the greatest start of his career probably in that race right there to beat this quality of riders here to get into that final. He's looking good. Golob chasing him down. What's going to happen, Tony?
Well, ANDREAS JONSSON through to the final. The Swedes would cheer this. They may have missed out on Tony Rickardson, but if it stays like this, well, ANDREAS JONSSON will be there. Thomas Golob, the pole, will go with him. Back in 3rd place. Well, Lee Adams could miss out on a final again, and certainly looks like doing so with this. No chance at the back. Disappointment for Michael KARLSSON, who promised so much, but ANDREAS JONSSON here in the blue helmet colours, and ANDREAS JONSSON has time to look back, and ANDREAS JONSSON takes the checkered flag. Thomas Golob in second place in white there. Lee Adams 3rd in red. Michael KARLSSON in yellow. Disappointment for him, but we now know that ANDREAS JONSSON will represent Sweden in the final. Ron Sullivan goes from gate 2. He won in Cardiff. Thomas Golob won in Bydgoszcz. He goes from gate 3. And ANDREAS JONSSON, who started tonight in 11th place in the Grand Prix Series, has yet to make a semi-final. Grand final, it's the first ever Slovenian Grand Prix. It's given us thrill aplenty. Away they go. Martin Ram on the inside. In blue, Ron Sullivan picks it up again out front. He's going to take some catching. ANDREAS JONSSON will put them under pressure. The Ram's in second place. Down the outside in white goes Thomas Golob, who cuts through, tries to take Ron Sullivan as well. Golob's all over the track. The Ram will have to be patient. Out front, though, Ron Sullivan, our favourite, now under pressure from Golob. But Ron Sullivan, can he stretch this, Sam?
Don't breathe right now, Tony. Keep going, because here comes Golob on the outside. Ryan's got to do all the work to carry this guy, but he looks to the left, looks to the right. Now he's he's going for it.
Yes, out front is Ron Sullivan from Australia, Thomas Golov from Poland, Mark Ram in third place for England. Right at the back in white is ANDREAS JONSSON, who didn't get the start, but as they go into the final lap, it's still very much alive. Both have won a Grand Prix. Ron Sullivan won in Cardiff, Thomas Golov won in Bydgoszcz this year. Down the back straight, half a lap to go, still anybody's race. Golov goes by, can Sullivan come back? Sullivan does come back, Golov will go again. Oh, anybody's race. I need to see that again. For my money, Ron Sullivan perhaps just the winner, but Thomas Golov desperately close on the line. What a Grand Prix we've had, what a finish we've had. Australia, Poland, who cares, Sam? It was a tremendous race. Sullivan declared the winner officially by our referee, his second successive Grand Prix victory. Oh, well, that could have been a dead heat, couldn't it? Look at that.
How
Give
can you
it to
call
Ron
it?
Sullivan, but I think really,
How can you call it?
but it's an unofficial awarded to Ron Sullivan, and there'll be lots of argument over that. There'll be stills, there'll be replays.
I don't know. You can't really call it. Oh, that is just incredibly close.
Well, if Thomas Golov hadn't been in the air, I think he would definitely have got it. But Ron Sullivan just on the line.
Just got it.
Ron Sullivan has won that from Australia. Ron Sullivan.
Quite good enough. Couldn't quite get around the first corner, you know, but I'm well happy with third place after my first couple of rides. A bit unsettled, so I'm happy with that.
It's been a pretty good night for you.
Yeah, not bad. Keep plugging away. That's the idea, you know. Don't give up.
Another podium slot, that's what we want.
Absolutely. Keep doing that for the other load, and I should be up there somewhere.
Keep stepping up there.
Absolutely.
All right, Mark, well done, congratulations.
Cheers.
Good British win. Cheers.
Well,
Just before the race, you were focused, you were listening to music, you were reading something, I don't know what it was.
Yeah, I mean, been doing a lot of mental training, and I was pumped before that one and felt confident in the bike, and I knew it was going good, and I was making good starts. I knew I could do it, but Thomas pushed me a lot harder than what I expected.
That was an amazing end, wasn't it? Amazing finish, a photo finish.
Yeah, it was good, you know, full credit to him. We had a good race there, and just glad I came out on top.
What does it feel like second time around?
Even better.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's good, you know, a few of the other boys dropped points, and it just pulls me clear again a little bit more, so it's nice.
So ready for the 3rd, 4th and the 5th and October, Sydney?
Oh yeah, I'm just going to take the next meeting again as it comes and forget this. It's in 2 weeks' time, and get on with the job again.
Now you're on a no drinking rule right now, but you know, you might just let yourself have a little tipple tonight?
No, nothing. I'm racing tomorrow, so it's definitely nothing.
The dedication of the man is unstoppable.
Oh, certainly my head feels better in the morning for not drinking.
All right, well done tonight, Ryan. It's a fantastic win. Congratulations. You were pushing him, huh?
It's good hit. Ryan is very fast. A quick start in good chrono. I don't know. I was outside, inside, outside, inside. I think so. I'm first in the meta.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's G is talk to Sullivan first. It's no problem.
It made for an exciting race, though.
Yeah, it's a beautiful race.
And are you happy? You're pleased with second?
Yeah, I was very, very happy. It's 20 points here.
Yep.
It's very quickly in the Tony. Ryan fast in the more points. I think so. It's world champion this year.
So remain consistent. That's the key. Congratulations. Well done, Thomas.
Thank you.
Okay.
Up there, and this is a marvelous corner for both Ryan and Thomas, just reaching for it. Ryan knows he's got to cover that inside. No matter what, he's got to take the shortest way around the racetrack and make something out of that. And Thomas Golov knows he's got to reach and go to the outside and get as much drive as he can, because he's taking the long way around, and it's a race now. Let's go. Here, Ryan swoops across, trying to grab the dirt, going right out to the dirt, out to the fence. That's where he's got to get the maximum drive. Thomas goes inside, squares it off, just driving maximum, trying not to lift too much, throwing his leg out front, and as they cross the finish line, this is like, I mean, this is so good for Speedway, so good for these boys to be able to smile and laugh about it at the end of it all, to say we both want to win this world championship. And Tony Rickardsson is the guy that's not in the final. Both these guys have a chance now to pull one over him. And here's that shot again. Look how close this was.
Well, Ron Sullivan, silver medals in Grand Prix each and every year he's competed until this year, and now 2 gold. Thomas Golov, a winner in Bydgoszcz, second here in Slovenia. A tremendous series moving up, and Tony Rickardsson, I wonder if his days are over, as Ron Sullivan has